Hello there, Aquarius. Thank you so much for stopping by for your monthly in-depth tarot video forecast. This forecast is for the month of March, and we're going to break the video forecast down into two segments. The first one is going to be for March the 1st through the 14th, and after that we'll do the 15th through the 31st. So for those of you who are Aquarians, welcome, whether your sun, moon, or rising sign is Aquarius. Maybe even your Venus sign if you want to know about your love life, etc. Those of you who are cross watchers who just want to find out about that Aquarius that you care about in your life, you also are welcome to be here, but there is something that you need to understand when you watch my channel, and that is that energies are not reversible like they are on some of the other channels. So what you're watching is for and about Aquarius. If you want to see something that's for and about you, then you want to watch something that is pointed at your sun sign, your moon sign, or your rising sign, and whatever combination works for you. So Aquarius, let's get started. We're looking first at your environment, and your environment is anywhere where you have energy or effort invested. Now, typically this is going to be home, but I want you to kind of keep an open mind because sometimes it shows up as work or school or other places as well. So any place where you have energy or effort invested, it does look like you have some strong friendships there, and it looks like things are going on in a non-typical type of way, in a non-traditional way in your environment. And it also looks like your environment is a really positive place for you to manifest the things that you want. This may be like your ideal environment with your ideal friendships and bonds and relationships here, even if they're not traditional ones, okay? So the next thing that we're going to look at, Aquarius, is your subconscious leanings. What do we have showing up? So it looks like you have a little bit of a situation that's going on in your subconscious. It looks like there is some kind of gift that somebody has offered you, and you're not feeling very good about this gift because I don't think that you really care so much for the company of the person who is offering the gift. And I think in your mind, you're kind of debating, how badly do I want this gift? Do I want this gift badly enough to spend time with this person? Is it even ethical for me to take this gift? Does it imply something that I don't want to imply to this person? And so these are the types of things that your subconscious is working on during this time frame, Aquarius. Next thing that we're taking a peek at talks to me about learning style and also communication style for you during this time frame. I do feel like there's something that you really would like to know a lot more about, and I think that whatever this is, whether it's a person or a situation, I think it's unraveling or revealing itself to you in a very slow type of way. I don't think that if this is a person, they're not just giving you all the information, that lickety-split. And if it's a situation, you're sort of unraveling the mystery around this situation. Other things that I have going on as far as learning style, I do think you are paying a lot of attention to the divine and to your connection with the divine and learning actually about that is what I'm hearing and strengthening that as well. And then last but not least, I do have here that you're learning about the idea of abundance and creating abundance. And along with that, this idea of sacrifice and how much sacrifice is actually involved with creating abundance. So that is something that you're learning about. As far as communication style during this time frame, I do see you being very optimistic, very bright, very cheerful in a lot of your communications during this time frame. I think also you've got something going on where somebody is asking you to make a decision. And I think that in communicating the answer to that decision, basically what you're saying is, hold up a bit. I need to consider what I want my decision to be here before I tell you the decision. I need to have some time to decide before I give you the answer about what my decision is. Next thing that we have coming up, Aquarius talks to me about work. It looks like work is not paying you as quickly as they should. I feel like there's a delay in pay somehow. So if this is, you're getting your pay through a check via the mail, that's easy to see how that could happen. There could be some kind of glitch. Maybe it's just that, partially you're not getting your normal pay. Maybe you're getting your normal pay, but if you have expenses turned in that they're supposed to be reimbursing you for, you may not be getting those on time. There's something here having to do with actual pay that you're not receiving on time whenever we look at the time frame between March 1st and March 14th. And it looks like that is something that you're going to have to actually talk to somebody about. You're going to have to get this ball rolling. It looks like whatever this glitch is something that has gone on without people realizing that there's been a mistake that's been made. So it's going to take you pointing it out and saying, hey, what's going on? And then I do see this glitch being resolved. I see you getting the pay by the end of the time frame. But like I said, it's going to take you being proactive for that to happen. All right. Next thing that I'm looking at for you, Aquarius, talks to me about that part of your personality, which is being grown or expanded right now. I do see that you're making an incredible change in perspective during this time frame. And I think you are looking at things really logically. And I think that you are deciding that it's in your best interest to learn some type of new skill or to practice and strengthen some type of ability. And so I feel like you are working on that. And for a lot of you, I think the skill or ability has something to do with the occult, the arcane, the metaphysical, something along those lines. That's interesting, right? Okay, guys, let's look next at those things that you stand for. So now what we're talking about here is something where somebody has come up to you and asked you to explain something, or maybe they've confronted you about something. So we're going to look at this situation that you've had to explain or that you've had to defend, this thing that you stand for. What we have here is Aquarius, I think that you have come into partnership with somebody who actually previously had some kind of resentment towards you or some kind of anger towards you. And I don't think they held back. I think that they definitely let you know about it. But I think that you have still managed to come into a partnership with them. In fact, I feel like they probably approached you about this partnership. And it looks like this partnership is going really well. It looks like you're manifesting the things that you want out of this. Now, how the other person who feels, this person who asked you to explain or confronted you about this situation, how they feel after you've talked about this situation, they're not so sure that they believe what you're saying. For some of you, they just don't know that you're shooting it straight. But for a lot of you, I think this person is not so sure that you understand what's really happening. They're just finding this whole thing kind of hard to believe here. They're not feeling very enthused about going along with this whole scenario. So if there's somebody that you were hoping would somehow collaborate with you and this other person, I don't see that they have a lot of energy that they want to put towards that. It looks to me like they feel like this situation that you're in with this other person is not a really equilateral type of deal. And it really sounds to me like they're just sort of waiting for the other shoe to fall. They're thinking that this is a little suspicious how this happened, that this person, didn't really seem to care for you, and all of a sudden now they want to partner with you. What's up is kind of their attitude about this, even after you've talked to them. All right, so the next thing that we're looking at is going to be your flex point, Aquarius. This is going to be where things start to go into a different direction because your perspective has changed. So what's going on that's going to be changing your perspective here? It looks to me like there's somebody who is making some type of decision here for you or about, well, let's say that impacts you, okay? And I think that this decision that impacts you is one that actually costs you money. And I think that once they make this decision, there is no arguing about this. There's no talking about this. There's no negotiating about this. I think once they make this decision, it's just a done decision, and it's just going to cost you money out of your pocket. That's what I feel like here. So this is what has changed your perspective about something. So at the same time that this is going on, it looks like you have a partnership that is moving forward, that is reaching its goals, its targets. And this partnership is going to be with somebody, Aquarius, who is very positively oriented. They're somebody who thinks outside the box. They're really great at problem solving because of it. They like to have a lot of fun. And it looks like you guys are moving forward in the decision making that you guys have. So there's some decisions that you and this other person have been making, and those are moving forward really successfully, even as you're dealing with this decision that somebody made that is costing you some money that is, non-negotiable. Next thing that we're looking at that's happening at the same time really as this, I think that you guys have somebody in your sphere of influence who actually has a lot of authority. They have a lot of power. And they're not feeling really balanced emotionally. Something has been going on, and they're feeling a little bit thrown off by this. They may even, I think some of them may even be sick. And it looks to me like you're passing along some good advice to them. Now, your good advice may be about, different foods that they can eat that can impact their emotions, or your advice could be, you need to go see a doctor and see why you're having these symptoms. Whatever this is, just basically is telling me that this person is paying attention. Even though they're a person of authority and they're over a lot of people, I think they're paying attention to what you're saying whenever you tell them, and I think what you're saying to them is you're saying you really need to go get help with this. You can't keep going like that. Okay, so what else do we have? Next, we're looking at where you are at the end of this particular time frame, Aquarius. All right. So Aquarius, I feel like there's something going on with you and somebody else that you have been working on something or collaborating and been near each other, and just not really enjoying each other's company, or at least you're not enjoying this other person's company. Whether they're enjoying yours or not might be another story, but you're not enjoying theirs. And I think what's going on is you're basically letting them know, you know what, I don't want to spend time together. I don't want to work on this. I don't want to hang around with you, whatever the case may be. You're letting them know that you're just done. You're just done with this. And then what we see is after you let them know that, I think you're second guessing yourself. You're trying to go back and sort of relitigate that whole thing in your mind and figure out, did I really make the best decision? I know it felt good then, but did I really make the best decision for myself whenever I did that? Okay, so that's where we see you around the 13th, 14th of March, Aquarius. I'm going to take a little break, and when I come back, we're going to look at the rest of the month for you. See you in a sec. Okay, Aquarius, we're back, and this time we are looking at March the 15th through the 31st. See what shows up for you during this time frame. Whoop, whoop. What can we find that's good that we can keep? And what can we find that we don't like that we can use free will to turn away? Let's see what we can see. Okay, Aquarius, we're going to go ahead and start off with your environment. La, da, da, da. I think you are coming up with a decision that you are ending something in your environment, and there's whatever this is that you're ending, you are not putting any more energy or effort into. You're not putting any more money into. There's just something that you are just done with. Now, you could actually be ending the environment where you're staying right now, or it could be that there's something actually in the environment that you're putting an end to. Okay, either way. Next thing that I'm looking at here, Aquarius, talks to me about your subconscious leanings. I think you you really are preparing to have a happy home. You want a happy, peaceful home, and I think that you want to get it in a fair way, Aquarius. I think that that only seems fair and logical to you, that you would have a happy, peaceful, and fair home. And so your subconscious, you're preparing for, how can I make this happen? How can I generate this happy home? All right, next thing that I'm looking at talks to me about learning style and also communication style. There are some things that you're learning at work. This could be new skills that you're learning, or this could even just be general information that you're learning at work as you're doing your work. Ba-dum-bum-bum. What else do we have? I think you're also learning something through emotions. And I think that somebody is really telling you something that I don't think that you were aware of before. And I think that as they tell you this, I think that you are really internalizing this. And I think that you're taking whatever this is, you're taking it really personally, and you're taking it pretty hard. I also feel like you're learning something about somebody who is suddenly not talking to you or just talking to you minimally. I feel like the whole lack of communication is telling you something that you didn't know before. I feel like it was probably right under your nose, but it just wasn't something that you were looking at or seeing. Now, as far as communication style, I do think that there is some communication about money and about making money, about skills in making money that's showing up here. I think also you are having some very pointed communication with somebody. I don't think you're beating around the bush at all with them on the questions that you have. You're looking for answers. And I think there is somebody that you are just intentionally shutting down conversation with. With the learning style, I felt like they were shutting down conversation with you. I feel like now the tables have turned. And before we get to the end of this time frame, the tables have turned, and you really don't have any interest in communicating with them. That you've seen enough of them, of their true colors, that yeah, you can live without that. That's kind of where you are at this point. Now, looking next at your work situation, Aquarius. And work isn't just how you make a living. Like if you don't have a job or a way of making a living, then this is what you're doing to feel productive in the community. Looks to me like you're actually doing your ideal work now, Aquarius. You really feel like this is something that is important. It's fulfilling. It feels good to you. It makes you happy. And I think that you really are given a very loose rein. You're given a lot of control over your own work right now. And I think that's part of what makes you happy with this and part of what makes it the ideal for you. You may be an entrepreneur, but I think a lot of you are just working for a company that they respect your judgment, and they're just kind of turning you loose with different projects and assignments so that you can handle them in the best way that you see fit. Now, looking next at that part of your personality which is being grown or expanded during this particular time frame, it looks like you really are coming into a time when things are getting a little bit easy for you, and you're basically ready to take an adventure. You have gotten over some kind of disappointment or letdown, and you may be getting ready to take some kind of trip, or you're getting ready to take some type of new adventure in that maybe you got a promotion at work, or maybe you want to try your hand at rehabbing your own kitchen by yourself. I don't know what you would consider an adventure, but there's definitely things are going well enough that you're feeling confident in trying a new adventure. And the part of the reason you're feeling confident in trying a new adventure is because of the disappointment from the past, the idea that you're moving past that. You want to expand beyond that so that you've got other things to think about besides that. So the next thing that I'm looking at for you Aquarians is talking about that thing that you stand for during this particular time frame. Let's take a peek at what our situation is, and then we'll look at how the other person feels about you after you have a conversation about this situation. So it looks like you have gone through a period where you've looked at how you're impacting the people around you in your sphere of influence. And if you're impacting them in the way that you actually want to, and sort of evaluated that. And I think what you've found is that you're not so thrilled with how you're impacting those people that are important to you in your sphere of influence. And you've decided that your energy was just being scattered way too far, and that you would like to really narrow the focus and start to focus on the things that are actually more priorities in your life. Not only for you to focus on those things that are more priorities, but also to set the example for those around you who look up to you or who watch you and take their cue from your example. So the person that you've explained this to, how they see this is they really feel like this has been a big change for you. This has been a big transition. And they also feel like, I think they feel like they may be part of what you're narrowing down out of your life. They may be feeling a little bit left out, like they can understand where you're coming from, but I think that they're feeling like they're not in a good position with you right now with everything that is going on with this. And they feel like you're basically telling them, you know what, I'm really not interested in putting any energy or effort into continuing this relationship. I want to focus on the things that are most important to me. So I think they're feeling a little bit left out and a little bit bummed out that they're not in that, most important category. All right, let's look next at what's going on during your flex period, Aquarians. What do we have? Yeah, so I see you as very independent, very self-sufficient, taking care of your own needs right now. I see you also getting some kind of epiphany. I think you're suddenly understanding and realizing where there was somebody who was sort of sapping energy away from you, whether this is somebody who was fraudulently hitting your bank account, whether this was somebody who was a psychic vampire that you're talking to. But I feel like you're recognizing where somebody was basically draining your energy, and you're, by recognizing this, you're doing this in a very self-sufficient way. This is not like somebody is saying to you, oh, that person, blah, 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 blah. Or, oh, did you look and see what's going on with your bank account? This is something that you are recognizing very much on your own. Now, for some of you, I feel like this could be somebody, and I don't want to make you guys paranoid. This isn't for everybody. But for somebody out there, this is someone who is really close to you that really shouldn't be someone that would take advantage of you. They should want the best for you, because as long as you're doing well, that impacts them in a positive way. But I don't see them really with your best interest at heart here. All right, moving on. At the same time that you're having this realization about this person, I think that the temptation really is for you to go into pity party mode, like, how can this happen? I don't deserve this, and blah, blah, blah. All of that pity party stuff. And I'm going to encourage you, if you feel that energy moving in, to head it off at the pass, because even though it feels like we deserve to have the pity party is completely non-productive, and it just makes us feel yuckier. So you want to head that off at the pass if you can. As you're going through this pity party energy, it really is making you feel limited or restricted. And I think that part of the problem here is whoever this person is that's draining away your energy is somebody that you really care about greatly. It may be somebody who's a family member or a very close friend. It may even be a partner in some cases. And so I think that, you're feeling really restricted because this is somebody that you care about so much. You kind of, it's a point of you don't really know exactly what to do or how to handle this situation. By the way, those are great situations to get readings on. If you want to do a reading, choose me. Shameless self-promotion, isn't it? Okay, let's look at what else is going on as you're having this revelation about this person. Definitely, you're coming to the point where things are not happy with home or with family. Just everything is not feeling secure. And I think that what you're doing is you're taking that revelation and you're using that information to turn things around so that things will become better. And to me, it looks like this other person is really taken by surprise when you do this. I think that this other person kind of thinks, oh, well, you should support me no matter what, or you should do this or that for me no matter what. And I think that when you stop doing that, when you stop letting them sap that energy away from you, they start feeling like, oh, this person doesn't care about me. This person doesn't love me. If they loved me and if they cared about me, they would still be doing this, this, and this, and this. And so I think that you are definitely turning things on their head and you're getting things into more of a balanced situation as far as relationship with this person. And I do expect that you're going to have a backlash from this person. They're used to you doing for them. And so they're going to let you know that they're not very happy. So this is going to be something that takes some energy and effort to accomplish to get to that point where it is actually a relationship that's more of a relationship of equals. So where do we see you at the end of this time frame? It looks to me like nobody's really appreciating what you've been doing here. Okay? And so it looks to me like you're actually going back to this situation where this person was sapping your energy. And I think you're going back to it and thinking maybe that you have to kind of, because nobody else seems to understand why you've gotten out of this situation where somebody was sapping your energy, why you've made these changes. And so I think that you're going back to status quo. You're going back to the way things were before you started to make changes. And what's sad is what I'm seeing on the table here is that even when you go back, I think that all there is waiting for you is a fight. This person was not very happy when you changed the status quo and tried to make this relationship into something that had more give and take. Well, now that you're going back to the old way where you're giving and they're taking, I think they're still fighting with you. I think there's some resentment on their end as far as, how dare you think that I would have to contribute as much as you to this relationship? What is wrong with you is kind of their mindset. And that's what's coming out here. So I think that, I think you've got a situation here, Aquarius. Not sure what you're going to do with that without digging in for a reading. And obviously for everybody, it's going to be different because this is a general reading. So private reading would definitely help for you guys to sort out exactly what's going on if you don't know. And also sort out what's the best advice moving forward. How do you handle this situation? So anyway, thank you guys very much for being here. I do appreciate all the thumbs ups and all the shares, especially with other people that you think this video may benefit as well. And of course, I appreciate all of you who are ordering private readings and private Reiki sessions from me. It's because of you guys' support at every single level that I get to do what I love to do for my living. So thank you very much. Everybody have a fantastic, wonderful, thrilling month. And if I don't see you here for a private session or a private reading, then I'll see you guys back on the next video. Peace out.